This is a genealogy video. What I'm going to show you is the 3 most important binders that I have, which are birth, death, and marriage. Obviously. Birth, marriage, and death. That's the way it's supposed to happen anyway. Unfortunately, the middle one doesn't always happen. Now, I have my other, what's this? Okay, that's other actual documents file. I just have to find it. This one's upside down, isn't it? Yes, it is. I just have to figure out which one of these it is. Okay, that's true. Because, okay, here we go. And this file is other documents. And I'll explain what that is. That will go next to those. Put this down. And I have this folder, which I believe, whoops, is also upside down. Yeah, this is all the forms and stuff are in this folder. And I also have this for putting stuff in, information and whatnot. So, perfect. All right. Now, I'm going to take it over here. Now that I have the files out, and I'm going to show you. Uh-oh. All right. How to work with these. Now, first of all, this file, which is not birth, death, or marriage, but they're still vital records. Well, what the heck do I mean by that? Well, they can be naturalization records, petitions for naturalization, which are 2 different things. One is you're petitioning, please naturalize me, and another is you've been naturalized. It's kind of like a marriage license and a marriage certificate. 2 different documents for the same act. One is an intent and one is it's done. There's also census records in here. This is the record of all that died in the circus fire. We talked about that. I had a family member die in it. Okay, this, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go through this because, like, this here seems to me to be not that oral history. I'm just not sure why it's here. Oh, because there's baptisms in it. Okay. There's draft registrations. World War I, World War II. There's cemetery records, which I like cemetery records like this. Let's see if I can. I know you can't see the actual record, but I like the way it's laid out. They have the main person at, oops, get over here, at the top. I'm going to pull it out so I can show it to you. Okay, at the top they have the main person. Then they have all the family members buried in the plot with them and their dates. I like it when it's set up that way. There. This is Bowdoin College records. Oh, no, that's Bowdoin, Maine. And that's Bowdoin, Maine. One's marriages, one's births, and there might be a deaths in here. Not sure. But that has family members in it, and it's actual copies of the books. So that's why it's not in the birth, death, and marriage Okay, this is Moses Sr. Okay, this is a find a grave record. Again, these are more of the naturalizations. A lot of the French records, because they're copies of pages, are in here. This is another draft registration card. Woo! I am not sure what this one is. I think it's a part of a will, actually. Ship's manifest. Another part of a will. These are Irish records, but they're written out. They're not, actual records. This is a copy of an Irish record. It is an actual record. It's a death. That being said, actually, I should take this out for research. I'm going to get that out for research. Oh, here's the rest of it. See, that's another reason why it's a good thing to have these like this, because you can go through them. This is a census, which I do consider to be a vital record. There's a couple of letters in here. I don't know why there's a letter in here, but there is. It's a copy of a letter. This is the Mayflower Compact, which I have ancestors who actually signed this thing. So, sorry, you could only see the signatures there because this book's heavy. Anyway, so we have more. We have Immigration Savings Bank record, which is really neat because it's actually my great-great-uncle in the Immigration Savings Bank record. And that was a record I found when Mom and I were researching together. And we both thought it was really neat to keep. And the handwriting is exquisite. That's him, right? That's him. But the handwriting in this particular record is exquisite. Those. Massachusetts. Sprint. Oh, okay. This is one of the most precious documents I have. And I kept the original. And I told her I did. This is Bureau of Records of the War of the Rebellion, which is the Civil War. He enlisted on the 28th day of March, 1865. And mustered out on the 28th day of August, because the war ended. But this is Jedediah Hemingway, age 18. That is my great-great-great-grandfather. That is just precious to me, and that's why I told her that I kept the original. I mean, it's her third great-grandfather also, but I told her, I said, I have to keep it. Why do I still have Sprint's original record in here? I shouldn't. This should go back to her. So I'm going to put that aside. But yeah, Grandpa's needs to stay. And I did give her a copy of that, I do believe. Because that's staying with me. Another draft registration. I'm not sure why we have this. Oh, because these are military. Okay, and then hospital. Okay, I put the military and the hospital records in here as well. Every soldier that passes away gets a letter from the sitting president at the time, and this is what it looks like. Unfortunately, my grandfather's is written by that guy. Yeah, Richard Milhouse Nixon. But anyway, and this is my grandfather's original discharge with the original holes punched in the top, and it's black and shiny. That is so cool. So I have that, and my cousin has the flag. I wonder if you'd like a copy of this to go with the flag. Because I believe I have copies of this. I'll have to call him and find out. See here. This is a draft registration card. There's so much stuff in here. There's literally records of homes in here. This is the city of Taunton. This is a copy. This is and this is Anna Kayer, and this is Sarah Wardell. Bought their funeral plots. This is John Dalzell. Now, for World War I, they did something a little bit different. They did a sort of a census where they asked you, you know, the basic questions: height, weight, hair color, eye color, all that stuff. They also asked you, can you drive a team, which means a team of horses. Can you swim? Can you do this? Can you do that? So they would know where best to put you for the war effort. You know, by learning your skills. Certificate de baptisme. David Albert Phileas Hemingway. Again, that's a copy. I gave that back to her. We also have, that's another old record. That's an English census, I believe. And so, there's an honorable discharge. So here's more stuff like that. Okay, we have a will here. We also have somewhere in here the deed to the family home in Broadbrook, Connecticut, the Wilson family. So, kind of shows where it went, you know, who it went through, which siblings had it, all that kind of stuff. And that stuff is public. It's public record. You can get it. You can do, you know. So I have to go through that book a little bit. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Now, generally speaking, when you have binders with vital records in them, you put them in order: birth, marriage, and what I call the dead family. The death records. It makes it less morbid, you know? Anyway. So, that's what I have here. Your files may differ in terms of number, but overall, I can tell you that I have more death certificates than either marriage or birth. Now, we have them done by letter of the alphabet, okay? We don't have anybody that ends in an A. We do have people that end in B, but I don't have them here. Anyway, this is to certify that, oh, that is B, okay. C. Okay. And then D. And we do it by alphabet. But I don't sit and alphabetize each individual name. What I mean by that is, I'll put the D's under D, the C's under C, the A's under A, if we had any A's. But I'm not going to sit and go into the D's and put all of the D's in ABC order and stuff like that. I'm just, yeah, no. That's a birth registration. Look at the handwriting. This one's easier to show you. That's nice handwriting compared to some of them. Hemingway David, spelling, oh my goodness. Then we get into typed ones, which are awesome. And the little cards. So we have a ton of different, that's the French one. You know, for us, when you go back to W, you get a lot. But they're all Wilson for the most part. So, like I said, I don't go in and say, okay, that's Schmidt, that's Schultz, let's put them in ABC order. No, I'm just going to throw the Schmidt ones in and the Schultz ones in, all under S. You can do it that way if you want. I am too lazy, quite frankly, to do that. And I never enjoyed alphabetizing when I was a kid. Hated it. Like, okay, I can do it as an adult. You go, if the first letter of the word is the same, you use the second letter to alphabetize. If the second letter is the same, you use the third letter. And so on and so forth. For example, Schmidt and Schultz, okay? S-C-H-I, Schmidt, no, S-C-H-M-I-D-T. S-C-H-O-L-T-Z. So Schultz would come before Schmidt, basically. I hated doing it as a kid. Like, for example, Schmidt and Schultz. You had to go, like, 4 letters into the word to alphabetize it. Now, I know that Schultz goes before Schmidt. Because O comes before him. But the point is, it would be a lot of work. And if you were doing something specific, you know, for an office that needed to be alphabetized, then yes, you would do it that way. Obviously, but I'm not trying to alphabetize, corporate files here. Okay, this is marriage records. Now I have these records stuffed in here. They're extra copies of my parents' death records, and I'm sure glad I have them because I needed one the other day, as I told you, and I mailed that in. Yeah, I think that's going to stay better. And again, there are no A's. Got plenty of B's. The only problem is these are in, okay, one little hint I can give you is if you're using sleeves, document sleeves, like I'm using here, you're going to cover up if you're using the letter paper because the document sleeves are bigger than the letter paper. So to find the next letter, you have to dig a little bit. Dig a little deeper in the well, boys. Dig a little deeper in the well. I have no clue why that's like that. How did I end up with... Anyway. Oh, okay. Because of the way it went into the binder. That's alright. So, marriage records probably tell you more than other records do. Because it can tell you parents' names, it can tell you. So that's a record that you want to get. Because it can tell you the parents' names of both members of the couple. Can tell you where they were from, where they were each residing before the marriage. In some cases, today, the couple's probably residing with each other. But not back then. No. Probably up until maybe, I would say the early to middle 70s, it became more accepted for a couple to live together. I do know from my mother that couples living together if a couple was a couple but they weren't legally married, they couldn't stay in a hotel room together. That's why you hear in songs like there's a song, "You're Gonna Ruin My Bad Reputation," because he finds a girl and he settles down. And said the guy at Starlight Hotel is going to wonder where I am, as he always eyes the latest Mrs. Smith I'm with. Well, there's no more weekend rendezvous for this Mr. Smith. Well, that's because back in those days, and back right up through the 80s, I believe, you could not share a hotel room with somebody who wasn't your spouse. Which is ridiculous, but you could. So what's funny is I actually have friends, a friend whose name is Joe Smith. That's his honest to goodness name. I said, have you ever had trouble checking into a hotel with that name? He said, oh yeah. Explain that one to the clerk when you walk in and your name is Joe Smith. He said, I have to show him my ID to prove my name is Joe Smith. This is my wife, Mrs. Smith. So I had to ask him, you must have had trouble checking into a hotel. So his wife's name is Carol. You must get looked at. That's all I can say. But this is, like I said, what I call the dead file. I like this particular binder very much. Very nicely. I like the way it's curved to go over the papers and stuff. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can kind of see what I'm talking about right in here. There you go. It's got to be one of my favorite ones that I got at the thrift store. It also has a little lip. I don't know if you can see the little lip that's right here. Or you can see me running my finger down it. I really like it. Death records, the informant's name, believe it or not, is something that can be very important. Excuse me. If there's an informant. And you can figure out someone's date of birth. Because you have the date of death, and then you have the age in years, months, and days. Do a little math, which is not my favorite subject, and you can figure out their date of birth. For example, this is my third great-grandfather. He was 85 years, 5 months, and 23 days old on May 7th, 1917. So, the first thing you do is you go back 85 years from 1917, and I'm going to need to do some calculations. Okay. So, 1917 minus 85. That's the first thing you do. So let's see. Okay. Whoops. Minus 85 equals. Okay, he was born in 1832. Then we go back 5 months. It was May, right? So we go back 5 months from May. So it's April, March, February, January. It's December. So it's going to be December of 1831. Okay. So it's going to be December, and you're going to go back 23 days. So 31. 31 to 21 is 10 days. 11 is 20 days. So it's December 8th, 1831. So that's how you do it. This particular one doesn't give a Now, his wife was 77 years, 5 months, and 11 days in November of 1911. So, 1911 minus 77. Let's do it again. Because I'm proud I was able to figure that out. $1834. Okay. And it's November 25th, so you go back 5 months. October, September, August, July, June, and you go back 11 days. Okay, 30, 29. About June 20th, 1834. So, this particular form doesn't give the informant, but the original one probably did.